Um, you know, you've probably rigged a multi-monitor setup before
Yeah.
and just dealt with the bandwidth headaches it causes.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a nightmare.
Right. Now, I want you to imagine multiplying that scale. Picture flawlessly projecting this massive high-resolution feed to 8 different commercial screens simultaneously, up to 30 feet away without a single dropped frame or artifact, and all from one single output.
Yeah, that is a whole different ballgame.
It really is. So today we are doing a deep dive into the hidden hardware that makes commercial video distribution actually work. We're taking a close look at the Smart-AVI DVS8P-S 8-port DVI-D splitter using some data from the HDTVSupply storefront. Okay, let's unpack this setup and see how this invisible plumbing actually operates.
Well, what's fascinating here is that to pull off that kind of distribution, you have to move far beyond, like a simple cable splitter.
Right, because a cheap passive splitter just divides the signal.
Right. Exactly. It just splits it, which immediately degrades the voltage. And that is why this Smart-AVI unit is a $699 solid metal box. I mean, it weighs 5.5 pounds.
Wow, 5.5 pounds just for a splitter.
Yeah, and it measures over 17 inches long, so it takes a single DVI input, meaning it can handle either analog VGA or your digital DVI, and pushes it to 8 distinct destinations up to 10 meters away.
I mean, the physical footprint totally makes sense when you consider the thermal dynamics and the processing power required inside. You're pushing a 1920 by 1200 resolution at a rock-solid 60 hertz.
Across 8 outputs simultaneously.
Yeah, which requires active signal regeneration. Like, without that heavy-duty hardware amplifying the feed, you would just get total signal loss across those 10-meter cable runs. It's sort of like a high-tech printing press. But instead of stamping ink, it is stamping perfect, identical copies of light and pixels in real time.
That is a great analogy, but, signal amplification is really only half the battle here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the real bottleneck is the digital handshake between the devices. So the specs for this splitter highlight a feature called onboard DDC learning and emulation.
Okay, BDC. That stands for Display Data Channel, right? Which is basically the communication pathway monitors used to talk to the source computer.
You got it.
So, what does this all mean for the source PC? Like, if this device relies on DDC learning and emulation, it's not actually treating these as 8 independent screens, is it?
Yeah.
It sounds like the splitter is essentially spoofing the connection to protect the graphics card from just an overload of display requests.
That spoofing is the core mechanism keeping the system stable. Over that display data channel, every single monitor sends an EDID.
The extended display identification data.
Exactly. Think of it as a digital ID card telling the source, hey, I'm in specific display and I require a 1080p signal.
Right, so if a single graphics port suddenly gets slammed with 8 different ID cards shouting their specs all at once,
It's game over.
yeah, the source gets completely overwhelmed and just drops the output entirely.
Which is exactly why the splitter intercepts that chaos. It captures the ED from a primary monitor, learns it, and emulates it back to the computer.
Oh, so the source PC thinks it's just shaking hands with one perfectly compliant screen.
Exactly. While the splitter handles all the heavy lifting of translating and distributing that active signal to all 8 displays, if we connect this to the bigger picture of commercial AV, that kind of robust reliability is exactly why devices like this are the foundation of a massive industry.
Right.
We are looking at this equipment through HDTVSupply, which is a global AV company that has been doing this for 25 years. They have built an ecosystem with over 10,000 positive reviews by basically outfitting the infrastructure of places we go every single day.
It's wild. You look at their massive storefront, and this 8-port splitter is almost an entry-level piece of gear for them.
Oh, totally.
They designed these modular Wolfpack matrix switchers capable of handling up to 160 TVs simultaneously.
160 TVs at once. It's crazy.
It is. And you see reviews from professional integrators, like user William L., who points out they are the go-to for hard-to-find AV products.
Yeah.
Because when you are wiring a 2-story sportsbook, you need industrial-grade failure-proof routing.
You really do. The next time you sit down at a sports bar surrounded by a wall of perfectly synchronized TVs showing every angle of the game, take a second to appreciate the heavy, dedicated hardware working tirelessly behind a rack somewhere, making that illusion possible.
Yeah. It is incredible to think about the physical infrastructure required to move all those pixels without even a microsecond of delay.
Absolutely.
But, it leaves you with an interesting question to ponder. As we see protocols for wireless casting and high-bandwidth network video getting faster and more stable every single year, how much longer will these heavy, cable-dependent hardware hubs remain the undisputed backbone of commercial AV? Like, will our physical video matrices soon be replaced entirely by invisible network traffic?